Greetings of peace and love, everybody. My name is Rob Hotep. I'm broadcasting on behalf of 13scienceastrology.com. That's the number 13, science, plural, astrology.com. Thank you for watching my channel. This particular topic today is going to be dealing with Men in Black. Men in Black. Very popular topic, mainly because of the movie that is actually part of the trilogy, or I should say part 3 is airing right now in the movie theaters or whatever. But Men in Black is a very popular movie right now, but the term Men in Black has been popularized by the movie Men in Black. So what I want to do in this video is I'm going to go into the metaphysics behind the Men in Black, get into a little bit of the history behind the Men in Black. Now, the Men in Black movie is not the origins of the term Men in Black. The term Men in Black was originated within the occult. The term Men in Black was used by a guy by the name of an occultist, keep in mind, an occultist by the name of John A. Keel, K-E-E-L, John A. Keel. And John A. Keel, the occultist, is the guy that popularized the term Men in Black. John A. Keel wrote a book called Mothman Prophecies. And in the book Mothman Prophecies, he talks about the Men in Black. And he talks about the Men in Black in general. In, his writings, and in, the things that he does as far as, the writings and the literature that he put out. He talks a lot about the Men in Black. And that's where the Men in Black came from. Now, keep in mind, he was talking about this prior to 1975. He was talking about the Men in Black. He's a very popular UFOologist, very popular. He actually wrote a few scripts. He's a script writer as well. He wrote a few scripts. He's a writer. He's an occult researcher and writer by the name of John A. Keel. And he was the guy that came up with the Men in Black thing. Now, according to him, he didn't make this up. In the book, The Mothman Prophecies, this book is about basically a group of, I guess you can say, intelligence agents that were recruited by the government, and they're actually aliens. And they point that out in the book. The Men in Black are aliens that were recruited by the government and programmed and deprogrammed and made basically government agents for the government. So the Men in Black themselves went around looking for extraterrestrials and extraterrestrial paranormal phenomena, but they themselves a lot of them were ETs and different types of beings, fourth dimensional type of beings. They themselves were, the Men in Black were. And he points that out in the book. And of course they go a lot into that in the movie as well. But the concept of the movie came from the book. And it's like a lot of people, we go to the movies and we watch these movies and stuff like that. And we are like thinking that this is the first time, like these ideas and concepts are just things that creative people sit around and they just come up and sit around a table and they just come up with stuff. That's what we think. You know what I'm saying? That a group of creative people just sat at a table and just came up with the concept of the Men in Black. A whole lot of people think that. Now, I know there are a lot of people that watch this channel that are very seasoned in metaphysics, the occult, and paranormal and UFOlogy and things like that. And to take my hat off to those people, and I respect those people. I know you guys know all about the Men in Black and the history behind it and John Keel and all of that. This video is for people that go to these movies and they watch these movies and they don't realize that these movies, all of them go back to the occult. Every movie theme that comes out goes back to the occult. Guys just don't sit around tables. Creative guys and women don't just sit around tables and just think of things out of the thin air, just come up with wild topics and wild comic books and wild movies. These things are based on a deep occult truth. And when you get into the Mothman Prophecies and understanding what this guy was talking about in this book, these are accounts of extraterrestrial, paranormal, UFO type, demon type phenomena that was taking place on the planet all the way back into the 1800s. They have accounts in the Mothman Prophecies that go back as far as the 1800s, I believe from members of the U.S. Navy in this book or whatever. So, I mean, the book, is interesting, definitely for research, so that you can learn about things like even the concept of Batman. Now, Batman didn't come from Mothman Prophecies, but they're Batmen that were found, Batman type of beings that were found within the Mothman prophecies, like with certain people that, you know, certain accounts within the book of the Mothman prophecy, certain people seen Batman, certain eyewitnesses, they seen Batmans. So there are Batmans. There are beings that are like Batman. The concept of Batman that was created back in the 30s the guy just didn't randomly create that. Batman was not randomly created. Batman was basically based off of a particular being. That the Mothman prophecies, they call him Mothman, but this is basically a bat humanoid type of being. This is what Batman is. Hominis nocturna. Hominis nocturna is the technical name for the Batman type of being. The Batman type of being is responsible. Many of your vampires and all of that, their lineage traces back to Hominis nocturna, the Batman type of being that does exist. So the Batman movies and all of that, that's talking about a real live being. And this is not a decoded video, so I'm not decoding Men in Black or Batman or anything like that. So I'm just letting people know that right now. I'm not decoding. I'm giving you the history behind some occult information of some real things and how Hollywood documents it and puts it into a film or a script or a play, as I talked about in my other videos. So the Batman thing, the Mothman prophecies, and the Men in Black all go together because it's all a part of a script. It's a script that was written based upon an occult truth. An occult truth. And this occult truth is the fact that there are Batman type of beings. There are definitely Batman type of beings. And these beings drink blood. They're bloodthirsty. A lot of the rituals and sacrifices that take place are offered. They're offered to these type of beings. These are the beings that back in the days that when you talked about a demon, you would see a picture of a Batman type of being. When, like back in the days, the pick for a demon or the glyph for a demon back in the 1800s is a Batman type of being. And this is what people fail to realize. Like people, they study the occult. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, and they watch these films and stuff like that, and they don't realize that all of this stuff is connected. It goes hand in hand. You watching a film, and the information in the film comes from out of the occult and from out of the occult schools. And John A. Keel was no different. He was an occultist. All of these, Walt Disney, all of these people that were in Hollywood that are popular, Dr. Seuss, all of them were occultists. Shakespeare, even before. You always had to be an occultist before you could be a playwright. Even back in ancient Kemet, when, you know, those people that were part of the plays and the, you know, because they still had griots and things like that, the storytelling and the dancing and all of that. And basically the entertainment of ancient Kemet. You still have to be initiated to be one of the performers and entertainers. You still have to be an initiated occultist. That's the way the game goes, and people just don't like it, but it's the nature of it. It's the nature of it because the nature of the arts and entertainment and all of that goes back to the occult and to the ET beings because they feel basically that they're the ones that are responsible for teaching humanity a lot of these things. So they want humanity to pay homage to them, and they usually ask for the sacrifice to do that. So that's what it comes down to. So Batman and all of that and the shootings and stuff like that happen in Batman. This is not a video talking about the shootings in Batman or nothing like that. I don't know what was going on with that, but I know for a fact that each occult movie like Batman and all that is talking about a powerful occult being of what used to be a demon back in the 1800s, of what they called them demons. Those Batman type of beings were called demons back in the 1800s. And I know for a fact that the Batman theme is based upon that kind of being, and I know those beings require sacrifice. So if you obviously, in order for them to make the Batman movie, they had to offer a sacrifice to that particular type of being. Those beings are bloodthirsty. That's where your vampires come from. So the concept of vampires, Batman, all of that stuff goes back to the Mothman prophecies. And you want to know what all of this stuff is talking about? The beings from the Dracos star constellation. The beings from the Draco star constellation. They are your hominis nocturnas, your vampires. A lot of your reptilians come from there. These are all beings that mostly drink blood. Mostly drink blood from the Draco star constellation. This is where they get Dracula from beings from the Draco's star constellation. They are the beings that control the earth and always have for billions of years. They've been on this planet for a long time. They've been on this planet for a long time. The Dracos. You start talking about Dagon. Dagon, which was a Sumerian deity that goes into the Dogon. See, Dagon was a reptilian, you see, and Dagon been here. You see, he made it into Sumerian culture, but really he came from out of the Dogon school. You see, so this is an old being, and I know a lot of people don't understand who Dagon is or what I'm talking about, but what I'm explaining to you is the fact that these beings like Batman and Catwoman and all of that, these are real type of beings. You see, these are real types of beings that exist in the fourth dimension, and they've been existing on this planet. And the occultists and the spiritualists know about it because they be working these deep type of spells or whatever. And a lot of times they attract these type of beings within their spells and their rituals. They know how to attract these type of beings. There are occultists out there that can attract UFOs. They know how to call and attract UFOs. And you can get taught that once you get initiated onto a certain level. You can call a UFO anytime. There are certain occultists that have UFOs that follow them and protect them. And this is why they don't worry about certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this is why they don't, you know what I'm saying, worry about getting attacked or basically just have any fear in general because they know about the other world, you see. So they don't fear humans, flesh and blood humans, because they know about the other world. So, and then and at the same time, a lot of occultists go crazy because they don't realize that other world is very powerful. And once you tap into it, you have to have a strong mind because those beings, that's why they're called demons, because they're powerful. That's why they're really called demons, and they are bloodthirsty, and they will turn on you. And this is the type of beings that they work with because these beings are powerful, and they offer a lot of power in exchange for blood, and that's why they work with them like that. So that's basically like how that goes. Like, was the Batman thing definitely a ritual sacrifice? I don't know. This is not what this video about. This video is basically about the occult and about how a lot of the themes of movies like the Men in Black and all of that is going back to occult principles. And Batman and all of that's going back to the occult, and the characters that play in the movies, all of these things traces back to the occult. So I hope that helped people to really understand this Men in Black thing. The Men in Black Part 3 movie, I did see the movie. It's a pretty decent movie. It's not as good as the other ones to me, but I'm not really in it for like stuff being good. I really watch these movies, like I said, to extract the information that is put in the movies, and a lot of jewels in that Men in Black one, though, and that Men in Black 3. It's a lot of jewels in that, you know what I'm saying, just to point that out or whatever. So definitely suggest people go and watch it or whatever. But it's a lot of people out there just that know about the Men in Black in general, and they know the truth. And the Men in Black only come really at people that they feel like have some type of extraterrestrial trait or have some type of spiritual power or something, and they usually recruit them, usually. And if they don't want to be recruited, then they'll usually kill them or something like that. But I mean, basically, that's what the Men in Black is or whatever, and they're ETs. The Men in Black are ETs. That's what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, yeah, they might look humanoid, but they're ETs. They're just like the agents in the Matrix. The agents in the Matrix were ETs. You see, they looked humanoid, but they were ETs. They were shapeshifters. And all of these things is covered in that book, The Mothman Prophecies. So you should definitely get that book. They talk about shapeshifting, all of that stuff. This man, John A. Keel, was covering that stuff back in the day. And people think like David Icke came up with reptilians and shapeshifting, or Dr. York came up with this stuff. You don't realize these people have been talking about this stuff way back, man. They learned this stuff back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They got it all from Kemet and from the indigenous. You know what I'm saying? It was passed down into the occult secret societies or whatever, and they hold the mysteries. These were no secrets to our ancient ancestors. They're only secrets to those that don't know. You see, those that are not in the know, they believe them to be mythology. They go to watch Batman and think that this type of stuff isn't happening. You know what I'm saying? They go and watch Spider-Man and don't realize the truths that are in movies like that. And like I said, I don't really do too many decodeds. I just go straight to the origins of where most of the movie concepts came from. Because really, when you get into movie concepts and you start studying the occult, all these movies, mostly y'all, are usually telling the same story. They're usually telling the same story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say, for instance, like Stargate. Stargate is telling the same story that's similar to like a movie like Indiana Jones. Same script. They're all scripts from ancient Kemet. The script of Horus, the script of Aset, the script of Nephthys. You know what I'm saying? And their stories and the stories of the Metu Neter. These are all the stories that they're using in Hollywood, and they're just telling the same story over and over again. And a lot of times they tell them from different perspectives to introduce new occult information. But those people that aren't trained to see this stuff, they're not going to know, because people don't read. They don't study. Even though those people that do read and study, they get caught up on personality worship. So when they hear somebody talking about something, they believe that's the first person that talked about it. Oh, that's the first person that talked about it because they just heard it from that person first. And they don't realize there's nothing new up under the sun, just like Solomon in the Bible so eloquently said. There's nothing new up under the sun. And there isn't, because everything is based on cycles and seasons. And the things just keep playing themselves out and perfecting themselves, because Earth is nothing but a mere experience. It's nothing but a mere play and a mere movie. And this is why I really don't get into focusing on the Illuminati and people worshiping the devil and all of that, because life, to me, I look at it from a higher spiritual point of view. It's all about your life script. Some people are meant to be actors. Some people are meant to be musicians. And I know a lot of people are shying away from that because they feel like that's worshiping the devil and all of that to get into it. But you don't really understand who the devil even is. The concept of the devil goes back to another occult principle that has very little to do with something evil and bad the way you think it is. You see, but people don't realize this stuff. They don't realize who Lucifer is. They don't realize who Satan is. They don't realize who the devil is. They don't realize that these are three separate entities. They just take things on face value and believe what they are told by their doctors, their scholars, their teachers, their parents, whoever. Basically, whoever tells them something that's an authority figure over them, they believe this thing. And this is all based on a Luciferian control system. This is how they control you, through authority. Authority. You want people to quote stuff. You want people to offer references, authority. See, people have to feel like they're authorized to do a thing here in the Matrix. It's all about authority. You see, because this is how they control people in the Matrix, through authority, through having to submit yourself to an authority to do just about anything in the Matrix. You have to submit yourself to an authority, and that's how they get people. So, and a lot of times people make themselves into artificial authority. So they'll say, oh, you can't say that. Well, you don't have the right to say some certain stuff like that on YouTube. You have people that say that. You have people that say that because they feel like they're some type of authority, or you needed their approval to say a thing. And I don't personally need nobody's approval to say anything. I'm going to say what's on my heart to say, and I have free will. And I understand the laws here in the Matrix and the system of authority, and I know how to work within the laws and honor the laws, but yet still shapeshift and function on a higher level, because I function on universal law. So when you honor universal law, you don't have to worry about these little petty laws here in the Matrix about authority and being an authority figure. These are illusionary laws, and they use illusions to fool you, to make you feel like you can't do a thing. And they don't tell you certain stuff about how certain laws in the Matrix, and mostly all laws in the Matrix, are made to be broken anyway. So the authority thing is a trick that was set up by the Luciferians to control humanity, to control the masses. You are your own deity. You create your way out of your existence, you see. And I know I'm going on, and it's supposed to be a video about the Men in Black and all of that, but I just had to point all of that out. You see, I just had to point all of that out or whatever, just to get people to start thinking for themselves. That's why I do this video, so that your third eye can become open and you can start to think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And information can help your third eye become open. I mean, music can help your third eye to become open. Film can help your third eye to become open. So if it's a part of your higher life script to do certain things, and you know that, and it's in your chart, you've been told that by an astrologer or anybody, or a reader or a spiritualist, that it's in your higher life script to be in Hollywood and to act, then that's what you have to do. Don't listen to the people out there talking about you got to worship Satan and all that. They don't know the truth. It's more to it than that. It's way more to it than that. Like I said, you don't even know who Satan is. These people that are writing these things, none of them have ever been in Hollywood. It's way more to it than that. It's way more to it than that. And like I said, I know certain things go on in Hollywood that are a lot different, like sacrificing and stuff like that. And a lot of people would say that goes on in Hollywood, and that's a lot different from what people are used to as far as the concept of like society. They feel like that's wrong because that's murdering somebody and that's killing somebody. But to them, they practice an old religion. And I always point this out to people. Sacrificing is nothing new to those people in Hollywood. It's nothing new. They practice a very, very old religion, and sacrifice is a part of it. It's in the Bible even. You see, so it's just here in this modern society, when you're ignorant, you don't know about the things that are going on, but it's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's a part of the occult, and I'm an occult researcher, so this is why I talk about these things, to help people to understand. When they hear somebody like a Christian talk about sacrifice, they really don't even know what sacrifice is. Like they'll see a Christian or something on YouTube breaking down how all these rappers, they're in Illuminati and they had their families killed and stuff like that, and they had to do a sacrifice and blah, 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 and they don't really realize why these things take place. So that's what I started this channel for, is to help people to understand why a lot of things in the occult take place from a occult standpoint. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm not here to talk about that. Do I agree with it or not agree with it? I'm not here to talk about any of that. My thing is, I'm simply here to offer the information. That's my job as a researcher. When you know a thing, you're obligated by the universe to share it, to at least share what you know. Now, whether a person believes in what you are doing, that's up to that person. But you are obligated by the universe to share what you know. This is why a lot of people lose their minds and go crazy when they get a lot of information, like spiritual information, because a lot of times they don't have anybody to talk to and they're not sharing it. So you have to share what you know. And I realize that. So that's why I do what I do. That's basically my motivation, is essentially to share information, to give people a different perspective. That's all it is. I'm not saying you don't stop doing what you're doing. You don't stop listening to your master or your guru or whoever you into. You keep doing that. This is just a different perspective. That's all this channel is. So I know I went on the deep end and kind of went into some other things, but it's all knowledge and information, and that's what we're here for. So I thank you guys for watching this video, and until we meet again, I'll leave you all in peace and prosperity.